My guest tonight is the anchor of Countdown to the Closing Bell on Fox Business Network. Please welcome Liz Claman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So I have one simple question for you: buy or sell?
Buy low, sell high.
But how do you
Have
know
you
it's
guys ever
high?
heard that?
Yeah, but how do we know if it's high? Right now, the market is in such a crazy place. I mean, like, it's up and then it's down and then it's super down and then say it's a record down, but we shouldn't panic. If we shouldn't panic and it's normal, why doesn't it always happen?
Well, that's exactly the point, right? It doesn't always happen, and what we're seeing yesterday, could it have been the ultimate opportunity to have bought? But again, I will remind everybody, the stock market is a little bit of a casino, right? So you should really only play with money that you can afford to lose. Who can afford to lose money? Nobody, right? I mean, you don't want to do that. So you've just got to sit there and watch and figure out that you're never going to catch the top.
Right.
You're never going to catch the bottom. So if you can get sort of around the top or the bottom, when it comes to selling at the top and picking up at the bottom, that would be nice.
You are someone who is steeped in the stock market and the economy. But what's interesting is a lot of people, I guess because of President Trump, have now started conflating the economy with the stock market. So oftentimes President Trump will come in and go, the stock market is doing well, which means the economy is doing well. Is the stock market the same thing as the economy?
Absolutely not. And that is a perfect example of why they are not the same thing. Certainly a good economy can stabilize the stock market, but everybody would argue that when President Obama had taken over, and in 2009, we saw the market plummet all the way from the financial crisis, as you know. Guess what? From that point all the way through 8 years, the stock market jumped by, at least for the Dow, 150 points, 160 points. The NASDAQ jumped 260+%. I'm talking about percentage points. This is huge.
Right.
And everyone would argue that the economy, remember, everybody used to say, oh, the economy's so weak, it's slogging along. And, oh, you know, the people who didn't like President Obama said it was his fault. People who loved him said, don't worry. Guess what? The stock market was going like this. So, in essence, if you look at it almost like a relay in the Olympics, because you just were talking about the Olympics, I love that. You could argue that President Obama had the baton. He's running. He hands it to President Trump, who's continued to run with it.
He's running?
They're on the... He's schlepping a little bit.
I feel like Obama handed it to him and he's in a golf cart and he's driving and he's keeping... That makes sense. So it is a trend. But that's what's interesting about this is you see some people, I mean, like you saw Sean Hannity, for instance, saying, no, the crash is because of Obama, because he didn't raise interest rates, I guess, when he should have. But the market going up is because of Trump. Is it somebody's credit or is it somebody's blame, or is the stock market really doing its own thing?
Well, let's get something straight. The president does not raise interest rates. Something called the Federal Reserve. They're the people who come together and decide what short-term interest rates should be and should they go up. Well, everybody kept them extremely low because we were in a crisis. We're not anymore. If you want somebody to blame Bill Belichick. I mean, you know, I was sitting there saying, you know, who...
There's some people like, yeah, we'll blame him.
Yeah,
we'll blame him.
Exactly.
Yeah, we hate the Patriots. We'll blame him.
You know, who do we blame? Do we blame the Fed? Do we blame President Obama? Do we blame, you know, President Trump talking up the stock market? There is one thing for sure. Since Election Day, the Dow Jones Industrials has enjoyed 90 record closes, 9-0. That's amazing. We give credit where credit is due, right? This is not a bad thing. But you also have to give credit to the stabilization of President Obama. And so therefore, the big theme here is, as much as they would hate to believe this, Trump and Obama are on the same team.
If you look at the numbers alone, right, it looks scary in a day. It's like 1,000 points or whatever, and they go like, this is good, this is bad.
Yeah.
But it looks like the markets have been doing the same thing around the world, right? So if Donald Trump takes credit for what's happening in America, how do you explain the fact that markets worldwide have been going up? Is this not just a trend in terms of stock markets?
It is, and things are better in America right now. We did start to see a pickup in growth. We see a little bit more confidence. The stock market has done well. People's 401ks, I know a lot of you out there have them, right? Who's got a 401k? Right. They've continued to reflate after the financial crisis in 2009. That is a very good thing, but you should all expect that they will fall at a certain point because we see what are called corrections. That means you're up at this unbelievable record high, and then it falls 10%, and it feels horrible at the time. You need a Xanax drip, but calm down. It happens. In fact, corrections tend to happen once every year. They just haven't happened in the last year.
Oh, that's fantastic. So if I understand this correctly, basically, you've got to think of a stock market on a high, like a night's out partying. You're getting drunk. At some point, you're going to get too drunk, and then a correction has to occur, and that's the hangover.
Yeah.
And then you go like, all right, maybe I should slow down.
Yeah.
And then you start it all over again.
And then you get a Mai Tai juice in the morning. You know, you go to your juice cleanse and make sure there's a little Mai Tai in it, and you're fine.
Like this.
This is difficult. But you know, when you talk about exactly how to understand all of this, I mean, some of your viewers are millennials, and they come in and they say, well, should I be in the stock market? Should I do a 401k? Well, yeah, because would you rather bet on great American companies, or would you rather just hide your money under a mattress?
I'm going to say mattress. Am I right? I'm just like, thank you so much for being on the show.
It's great to be here.
It's been great having you. Countdown to the closing bell airs weekdays at 3 p.m. on the Fox Business Network. Liz Claman, everybody.